Hello,
Hello!
and welcome to BBC Television Centre, here at Wood Lane, London.
The site of the new broadcasting house on schedule to be completed by 2008.
And this is the interview for the Mitchell and Webb situation, a cheap little sketch show that we made for the now defunct cable channel Play UK a few years ago.
This is the kiss of death that we gave to that channel.
Yes, we brought them down.
And I'm Robert Webb, and this is David Mitchell.
Hello.
We're going to be asked some questions now. We met at Cambridge University. We were in a thing called the Cambridge Footlights, which is a sort of student sketch comedy group for people who like to write and perform comedy. And we were both at that.
And we were in a pantomime there called Cinderella. That was the first show we were both in. And sort of later that year, Rob, who's older than me and was there for
considerably older,
9 or 10 years, one of the old guard of Footlights who knew the secrets of the punchline,
the inner party,
came and asked if I wanted to do a two-man show with him, and I was obviously massively flattered by the approach. Bowled over.
Couldn't say no.
And so we did a two-man show about a year after we first did the Cinderella thing. And our first two-man show was called Innocent Millions Dead or Dying, brackets, a wry look at the... No. Get it right. Innocent Millions Dead or Dying, dash, a wry look at the post-apocalyptic age, brackets, with songs.
There were two songs.
Yeah, which we cut for a future version of the show.
Because they were bollocks.
They were bollocks. Yes, I see no reason why it wouldn't be.
I think once you've got a place that is sort of a stable, then the same kind of people
horses will be born there.
All those horses will, gravitate
Comedy
towards
horses.
it. I'm talking about gravitational horses now.
Yeah.
And all the horses kind of get together, and that's how we all sort of meet up in a sick way, and then we kind of run British comedy from then on.
And that's all the story of the Spanish Riding School.
Yeah.
Which is in Vienna. Basically, I think you do have to be bright to write comedy. You don't have to be bright to act or perform comedy, but I think writing comedy is a sort of brainy thing, and people at Cambridge have to be brainy to get in. Obviously, there are lots of brainy people elsewhere also doing good comedy, but they get kind of focused in Cambridge to the Footlights, and I think that's why it's got so many prominent comedians among its alumni.
Well, we sort of get on, and I think crucially we tend to make each other laugh, which I think those are the two main things.
Yeah, I think we also have different but complementary performance styles, and it'd be difficult to define.
It's not for us to define.
It's not for us to define. But people have said so. People have said we do, and they're right. Well, we didn't have to pitch this show.
Yeah. It's one of the few times there was no pitching on our part. It was more of a they come to us.
They pitched us the idea, would we like to do it? And we said, yes, please. But pitching is a pain, yeah. And writing proposal documents is a pain. Because you've got to have a few jokes in them, but they're not proper jokes. And essentially it's like writing a fucking essay.
Jokes for commissioning editors,
So, no, pitching isn't much fun, but it's worth it when you get a lovely commission. No, not at all.
We feel we've come home. Massive posters of ours everywhere.
Great.
Fucking 10 years overdue. Well, it was made in 15 days, or shot in 15 days, and that was quite hairy, but a lot of fun because you have to do everything quite quickly, which is how we prefer to work. Are we nearly through here? It was a lot of fun. It did mean that we had to turn up knowing the lines, but that was all right since we wrote all of it.
And you're supposed to do that anyway, to be honest.
You meant to.
Yeah.
You meant to know them.
There are people who don't.
Some people don't.
Tony Curtis,
doesn't give a shit.
Was a nightmare to work with for poor old Roger Moore.
That's why we didn't have him in our show.
No, we wouldn't have him. But what made it work was the fact that David Kerr, the director, was very good and had done a lot of preparation and knew exactly how
Storyboards
he
and
wanted
everything.
to shoot it. Yeah, and the DOP Andy Hollis was a genius, and
then there was the ruthless efficiency of producer Simon Lupton.
Yeah.
Ruthless.
Yeah, and also we shot so much of it that, as we mentioned in the commentary, there's this place called the American University at Bushy where there are about 8 or 9 good sketch locations all near each other. There's like a morgue, a chapel, a lab, a field, a bit of wall, a burnt-out room. So we could shoot most of it round there.
All in one place, and that saves a lot of time, because most of the time in filming is the packing stuff up and moving it and then setting it all up again. Whereas the actual words,
Yeah, because we're one-take wonders.
Yeah. Well, we had to be.
I think the only way you can write it is to write what you find funny. I think that's why it really helps to write with someone else, because then 2 people have found it funny, and that decimates the risk that it's only you or only you 2. But yeah, you just write what amuses you. At a computer, we sit next to each other. I type.
I sometimes pace. It's not a big room.
Don't really pace very often.
It's not a big room.
You usually
That's
smoke.
more sort of getting up and stretching my legs.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
I fart.
And then I leave the room. We massively prefer performing. Although writing is something that's okay once you've done it.
Yeah.
It's a nice thing to, if you finish a script or a sketch even, it's nice to look back and admire it and go, look at us having done that. But the actual moment of doing it, it's a pain in the arse. Whereas acting is actually fun while you're doing it. Sometimes.
I think you definitely get much more feeling of satisfaction when you've written and performed something and it's all yours. And it's you can have fun writing as well, but it basically feels like work, whereas acting doesn't feel like playing around. Sometimes you have to get up a bit early, and that's a pain.
Yeah.
But it's largely fun.
People I liked when I was growing up were people like John Cleese in Fawlty Towers and Victoria Wood and everyone in The Young Ones, apart from Mike. And those kinds of people, really. And you were mental about Blackadder and Yes, Prime Minister.
Blackadder, Yes, Prime Minister, Monty Python. I think Spike Milligan is the sort of founder of modern comedy, although a lot of his stuff now looks a bit weird and isn't always that funny. But I think he was a genius.
Yeah.
Peter Cook, very good. Peter Cook, very good. Good work.
Very good. Well done, Cook.
Tick. Keep going. Yeah. So, but they're the obvious people, unfortunately. It would be good to be able to say, actually, we derive
Lenny
all
Bruce. We love Lenny Bruce because he's really cool.
Lenny Bruce.
No, we don't give a shit about Lenny Bruce.
Stand-up
People
comedy.
Shut up about
not
Bill Hicks and Lenny Bruce.
Stand-up comedy is not an art form. It's work in progress. What you should do is try and have characters and a story. Thank you.
Well, I do quite like Robin Williams.
Yeah, well, lots of them people are very good at doing stand-up.
Not his stand-up, his moist-eyed camera hogging.
Oh yeah,
in Patch Adams.
Yeah, that's it.
Well, we made this show about 4 years ago, and in the meantime, obviously, Peep Show has happened to us and the nation, or at least the nearly a million people.
A tiny
who like
minority
watching
of the nation who watch it. Yeah.
But what about Peep
nice
Show?
link.
Yeah, thanks. I just didn't know
we
how to join.
We were asked to link it in, and there we go. But I think Peep Show. I think the novelty aspect of Peep Show is over hyped, really. Well, for good reasons. Journalists like to say that things are new because they think that new and good mean the same thing, which they don't. Peep Show has a lot in common with a lot of British sitcoms that dating back for a long time in terms of it being about people who are unhappy and lonely and trapped, and also in terms of it being about 2 blokes sharing a flat. I mean, that's very like Men Behaving Badly and other things. So what's good about Peep Show, I think, really, is that it's really well written, not by us, so we're not being immodest uniquely in this case. Written by Jesse Armstrong and Sam Bain. It's really well written. The characters work. They're dynamic clicks. That's a good phrase. So
dynamic clicks.
They're dynamic clicks.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a clicky dynamic. I'll get arthritis in my dynamic
I think it works.
as an
I think
older
that's
person.
fine. We
Anyway,
know what you mean.
But yeah,
you soldier on.
Yeah, thank you. So, I don't think it's novelty, the way it's shot, I don't think is fundamentally what's good about it, but it was a sort of hook to get it commissioned and then to, make people give a shit about the fact that it was on.
But I mean, the POV stuff and the interior monologues, it does give you an excuse to shovel in a load more jokes.
Yeah.
The one sketch that we did that was pulled from the show for sort of reasons of taste and decency, basically, we had a sketch about an abortion clinic, but they were doing it in a sort of organic, new age kind of way.
Their whole shtick was that the modern approach to abortion, it was a bit, too clinical and Western, and we're no longer in touch with the old ways. And so it's basically a bloke expensively suggesting that women should drink a bottle of gin and chuck themselves down the stairs like they did in the old days. And
its heart was in the right place.
It's a solid premise. What we were saying is all that holistic homeopathy bollocks is bollocks. Imagine if you had to use that for something that really mattered. But
the subject
it
matter
looked like
is...
we just sort of thought it was funny, the prospect of women miscarrying.
Which
Which we don't, and isn't. Anyway, we'd have put it in the show, though. It was only the executive producer who was a girl who said we couldn't.